Welcome back. Part 3, Dr. Mike Voight, the Leadership Fix Game Plan. We just finished on Part 2. We finished the first system, the toolboxes for coaches, toolboxes for players. Now we're into the second system, talk and teach them up. What can we take from all of that rich feedback, from those question batteries, from those first few play calls? So when we kind of look at the overview here, we've got roundtable discussions where we're really going to kind of go through the notes that were taken, the small group, and hopefully eventually get to where we can kind of, once we learn from each other, what are we going to do about it? What is that next action plan? All right. And the action plan certainly should result with to-dos. Now that we know an awful lot more about what the team does and its dynamics and the strengths and the areas that need improving, what are we going to do about it? So that way the coaches, the staff, and the captains will have their to-do list, and we can certainly get them on some starter responsibilities. So I'll certainly address that in this presentation as well. And then we will proceed on to the fifth play set, where as they are doing, they're actually accomplishing some leadership in their to-do list. We have them doing some starter responsibilities, but what can we do to educate them on leadership? And there's so much out there. The first leadership book that I wrote is through McFarland Publishing. It's very detailed. It's the leadership playbook, a little bit more academic based, but could be a great resource that you can pull some content from. My website also has plenty of content that you can easily spend 10 minutes talking about. I've got handouts that can certainly help with that. So you can certainly drop me a line via my website and email, and I'll be happy to send you whatever you need in terms of having these educational chalk talks, just so you're able to kind of dig deep into some leadership topics. So that's kind of this second system. Not only are we going to get them engaged in some discussions, some roundtables, and action planning, getting them doing leadership, which is the key, especially if it's on-the-job training. That's the best way we learn leadership. We don't learn leadership by just reading books or listening to podcasts or doing silly balloon relays, although all of that is a key part of it. The thing is to practice it, to do it, to learn as we go. So just to go into a little bit greater detail about this second system. All right, so again, we will have that active discussion, whether it's on Zoom, WebEx, as we are separated, or when everyone is together again. All right. And especially as we're kind of going through, the book does provide some note-taking charts where either you as the head coach or the captains or one of the staffers can actually take some notes, kind of prioritize some of the feedback, any particular key points. Something that I do with my teams, every time we have a meeting, they get some notes back. And these are some notes that we can bring back out later. We don't want to have a meeting and for all the words just to kind of die there. We want to make sure that they stick. We want to make sure that whatever is talked about, especially something that can help us, we want to take note of it and we want to bring it out from time to time. Have we made progress? All right. So that's this is my meeting progression, ways that we can kind of stay on top of it, hold ourselves accountable to it. All right. The seventh play call, again, here is that to-do list, making sure that we have a set action plan happening. All right. And then as they're doing that, can we have these chalk talks sporadically throughout the season? Maybe it's once a week. One of my teams from USC, who won many national titles, we actually had a locker room series that we would bring in some guest speakers. Our men's tennis team won like 4 titles in a row. So we had him coming in. We had some people from the community, some people from campus, as well as our own leadership chalk talks, where we would spend 10 to 20 minutes addressing a particular issue, just something to add to their arsenal. All right, and here are just some talking about the curriculum. These are just a start in terms of some of the key pieces. There's the reference to my former book that has all of this content, and I usually would advise all of my teams, and especially your teams, to follow the LAF principle: learn, apply, action, and follow up. So every time we talk about anything that relates to the team, anything that can have an impact, we ensure that it is applied. There's some to do, there's some action, and then we follow up. We ensure that something gets done. All right? Because players do what you inspect, not simply what you expect. So if there's no follow-up, if you don't find out what has been working, what isn't working, who's doing what, then that time may have been wasted. All right, so again, this is just some additional curriculum. The Sport Leadership Playbook, this is my resource, but I also include some other resources that could be great fodder for a 10 to 20 minute leadership chalk talk, as well as particular action activities that can be done. So that way it's not just a lecture like I'm doing right now. All right, and just like I did with the prior systems and play calls, here are some particular templates that just helps you schedule this out. How do I take all that rich feedback from the first system, and how do we talk through it? When should that happen? And then how do I work in some of the educational chalk talks? So feel free to follow through with these schedule templates, and that should be able to get you started. All right. So looking forward to the next edition of this, where we will go through the third system. All right. See you soon.